Hey yo, we're gonna do a one take Jake on a walkthrough of a GT Sport replay. I've started to participate in the GT Sport events again. I hated them at first. I still do kind of despise them, but my main goal is not to win, not to get up front, not to qualify the fastest. Just get in the mix, have a really good race, make some passes, get some good replay. This is pretty sick. Mount Panorama is one of my favorite tracks. Bathurst, what a lot of other people call it. But Mount Panorama is one of my favorite tracks. This setting of daytime, this is like very early morning. Gran Turismo does an amazing job at the lighting. You can really feel like the crisp air and the, look at this lighting and the nice morning light. This shit looks sauce. But anyway, we started it out. I'm kind of sitting back a little bit because I got some space behind me. I don't have to worry about the guy ramming me in the first corner. So as we come around, my plan is to, like I said, not get too much in the mix. I don't want to run into anybody. I don't want to get any incidents. This is a very fast straightaway going into an extremely quick right-hander uphill. You can fly up, off, and into a wall, or they can have an incident and get you caught up in it. So we brake right at that road right there and start making the left turn in. And as we head up the hill, look at that lighting, look at the scenery. Everything looks super realistic. But heading up the hill, this is a very good spot. This spot right here will catch you off if you get on the outer edge. The topography will catch you bad. You'll slide right out into the wall. You're coming around here. This is my quickest portion of the track. I'm very dominant here, but I'm still taking a wide line, kind of keeping myself back. I'll start to get in the mix. We got 3 laps, so I'll start to get in the mix here in a little bit after we get down the straightaway off of this mountain. So going flat out around here, this turn, you just got to turn it deep into understeer, and it'll glide right out. It's a pretty weird method to go through that corner, but you can get to that corner pretty quickly like that. Digging through here, quick stab on the throttle, come across the grass. That's almost a penalty, but it's not quite. So, I mean, that's kind of your trip to go. Ooh, understeer there. That one, I kind of got nervous. And this is what I'm saying about trying to keep some space. I don't want to get into the back of anybody and drop my driver or my skill rating. GT Sport does a very terrible job at their penalties, and it's super drastic. And I touch dirt right here on purpose to not let off of the throttle, but to kind of taper back my speed. So everything I'm doing has a reason and it's done on purpose. But as you can see, like, I'm closing in on the gap, and this is dangerous as hell right here. But I did a pretty good job navigating my way around that corner without running into the back of that guy. So as second lap starts, I'm starting to think, let me close in, get in the mix, and start to try to shake it up. Had 1 clean lap, so that means my skill rating, I believe, goes up, or is it my driver's rating? I don't really remember, but since we got 1 clean lap in, now it's time to start mixing it up. So I want to mix it up, start getting in the mix, letting people know I'm there. So now you're going to see me try to use the draft a little bit more sturdily. Also run down into the braking zones a little bit deeper, try to close these gaps. Those Mustangs were a lot faster than me, so I have nothing for them on that straightaway, but this is where I start to get in the mix. Stay wide a little bit right there, just because I want to close in on the top of the hill. The crown of the hill is it's my best opportunity to close in on guys. So I'm hugging that wall tight, and then we're going up through. We're standing on. That sun looks amazingly bright, but we're running through, standing on it, hugging tight, getting aprons. And this portion right here, you go 4th and go 5th right there at the bottom. Stay in it. We're still 5th, and then it's that turn you turn into understeer. Send yourself all the way out to that apron. That guy had an issue. I was going to give him the space to pick up, but I decided to go around him. Coming through there hella quick. Big slide. I wasn't comfortable with that, but I backed off, which allowed him to close on me. I didn't want to get hit by him, so I just stayed wide. I thought I'd let him by. He didn't take it, so we get back in. I see somebody up ahead had penalty, so I know I'm going to get that position because they've got a penalty. Those yellow markers, that's the penalty zone to make them stop and slow down. So he's guaranteed drop some speed. The guy in front of me, I'm going to close in on him here in this deep braking zone into the turn. and last lap is kind of going to be where it's all at. Tried to give myself some space to wait to get the position before I start to take it over on the other straightaway. I didn't want it right there. So come around this last turn, and we're starting the third and final lap. Dude is hot on my tail. I feel like Mustangs are going to do what Mustangs do, so I don't want to get killed. So I'm trying to keep the pace up a little bit, and I'm going to have to run people down. There's another penalty zone right on this straightaway. So that car that had that penalty, you see that yellow bar? He is in the penalty zone, so he's slowing down right now. That's going to give up a position, go around him. Even though he's ghosted, I wanted to go around him. Here comes this Mustang, so I kind of want to pressure him, but then I wanted to give him space. So here we go. Now I know I'm quicker again through the top of the hill. So we've already got a different position. I'm up 1 and gave up the Mustang, so I would have been up 2, but I feel like I can take him over coming up here again anyway. So I noticed there's a cluster up front, and those guys are running nose to tail. And as we come through the quick twisty bits right here, this is going to really show you why I give people space in sport race. So just watch that cluster in front of car number 5 in front of me. Watch right about here is going to be some real fucked up shit. And dude already had a penalty, and they're running into each other right now. I was really bugging, trying to close in. Look at that. Luckily they ghosted, or else I would have got hit with a penalty. So now got 2 positions, and we're battling for 4th and 3rd. And that's crazy because guys, they just don't give each other room, and then they get this real big anxiety issue. And remember, we're on the final lap, so I'm really trying to get this position now. Running door to door, we didn't touch. There was no contact at all, but it's pretty close. I wanted to try to get him right here. I cross over on the inside, and I'm trying to make a run. He goes to cut me off, and watch what he does here. Cross over again on the inside, and I floor it, and I get with it, and I had it for a second, but my brakes started to drag, and I'm gonna show you right now. Boom, photo finish. Now watch the lower portion of the brakes. The indicator is showing you right there next to that RPM gauge. The RPM band is flashing. You'll see the brakes, and I went to take him on the inside. He stayed right there. He kind of pressured me out, which is good. That's a good position, good move. But watch my brakes after we clear this corner. The brakes are dragging. They're still on. They're still on, which let him pull out. So even though it sucked, it was actually really good. It was super tight racing, and I really appreciated that. That was good shit. So look how closely we finished, but that was a very successful sport race. Pretty aggressive, no contact. Got a good spot and raised my rank. So I was good with that, and it made for a pretty exciting replay. We move on to another race, the N200 class, BRZ GT86. What it is basically a spec class. Gran Turismo puts race transmissions in here. They don't allow you to use a clutch, because they found that people that were using clutches were, I guess, exploiting upshifts. You could upshift quicker. So it's really just a spec race now. Again, I'm trying to stay away from people. I don't want to get hit, and I'm planning out every move. Right here, I'm a little bit quicker than everybody else, so I just gas it and hold on tight and see where people lay, because boom, as you see, impacts everywhere. I go around that guy. It looked like there was an impact there, but it wasn't. He made an abrupt move. We lined up red, white, and blue. That's sick. So if I stay on the outside, because we're going to go outside, inside, here they go doing some other stuff. We are in the mix, and this track is wide enough to have some space to make other moves around guys that are, you know, having a little fidgety time. I didn't want the guy up front to get out of here, so I was trying to figure out how to make my way around these dudes. So I wasn't going to wait too long for this. I really wanted to get out of this pack. We want to kind of stay around somebody because these straightaways are so long. You want to use the drafts, and between straights, since these corners are so long, you want to be able to use the drafts on that as well. Guy in first place has a penalty, which is fine. He's going to have to slow down. You see the yellow bar loading, which it keeps us aware that the car is about to hit an abrupt halt. So don't get behind it. So I'm using these two guys to go up the inside. I want to use his draft right before he dies so I can get a slingshot on these two. But the position coming around that corner, they got out on me anyway. So that's cool. We're in the penalty zone. You see the black car is shadowed out. We're just going to come trucking right around him. This race is actually pretty good because all the cars stayed in a pretty good group, pretty good pack for the first lap. Second lap's coming up right now, and we're about to really start to get some separation on everybody. So I've got a really good process in the braking zone. Come in, two cars in front. The guy in the back just hit me, of course. He's the bastard that has penalties. Of course, he's going to be the guy that hits everybody, whatever. So we're cool. It didn't affect me too much. We're coming in. He's got a penalty again, as you can see above him. Freaking douchebag that guy was. That's another thing. Guys don't know how to make racing good. They just want to win. They think winning is the best part of racing, and it's not. Actually, having a good competitive race is the best part of racing. So anyway, here we go. I'm going to dive in. Nice solid braking. He's got a little bit of oversteer. I don't know if he's on the controller steering wheel, but I've got the run on him. So we're running door to door, neck and neck, headed up. And we're going to start to use a little bit of strategy because I don't want the lead right yet. Just yet, I don't want it. So I keep him tight on the inside so that and he ran into me a little bit. But that's fine. We got penalty boy coming up. And he's got a 4-second penalty, so I let him by, right? Because he doesn't mean anything right now. No matter what he does, you see the penalty bar loading. No matter what he does, he's got to stop for the penalty. And even if he didn't stop for the penalty, he's going to be 4 seconds deficit, and he's never going to get 4 seconds out on me. So, again, I use him as a draft. His penalty's loading. And I'm going to slingshot right by him and use that to go jump down to catch the other guy that's in first because he's starting to get a gap. And I don't want that gap to get too damn big, so I've got to do what I got to do down the straight. And I was a little bit outside of the draft, so we are going into, I do believe this is the final lap, or we got one more. I don't know. I don't remember. Coming down into this braking zone, he's locking him up. That's a good sign to me. That means he's doing too much and I'm rolling on smooth. So this is where I'm going to start to really try to put the pressure on him. I'm going to try to get up on him in the next couple of turns, but I really want to start putting the works on him so he can start sweating. Dive bomb through this corner. I love that corner. You can go flat out through there if you really got the line right. This corner's sketchy. There's two different lines to it. You can either hug real tight or go out really wide and then turn in. One is going to be full throttle on the exit, and one is going to be managing your speed through the exit. So it just depends on how you want to go. He's still running wide, fishtailing a little bit, and here we go. I'm going to dive in on the draft and just let him tow me down to the hairpin. Got out, got the slingshot, and now what I'm going to do here is pressure him a little bit, keeping him outside, but he dives in, but he knows I'm there now. See, he ran wide, and because I kept him outside, that's why he did that. So watching him some more, he's still a little bit wavered, and I'm going to start really pressing him. So I think we got one more lap. Matter of fact, I'm certain we have one more lap because there's something that I just did there, I'm going to do again, but I'm going to do it a little bit worse to him. So don't let him run too wide. Here he goes. He crossed over and bam, right on his shit. Let him know I'm there. It's a drag race of the slowest cars down this long straightaway. And we're just going to keep next to each other down this whole straightaway. I pull off and go down the right side of the track because you can still get a draft being close to the car, but he followed me, so I dipped back over. Now, Watch this. So I baited him because he was running up with a little bit more speed, and I stayed in it as long as possible, and then I brake harder and let him go around and then dive inside him. Now, this is the lineup for the pass that I want to make on the hairpin. This whole thing right here is a lineup for one move. I'm pressuring him. I'm not trying to pass him. I back off. I make sure he stays wide. Still don't want to pass him yet. I'm going to run up on him again. We're going to make this long corner because this is an off-settled corner if you don't have good steering feel. And I'm going to dive down in on him again on this corner exit. And now this is where I want to make the pass. The turn coming up down below, you saw I did it to him on the last one. I'm going to do it to him again, and this time I'm going to do what I felt like I wanted to do to make him stick. I'm keeping him on the inside, not letting him go on the outside. Brake hard, he goes out, I tuck inside, he's oversteered, he's done. No impact, as you can see, he's done. And I took my place, that's where I wanted to be, and I made him do that. So I just set him up for it to see if he'd take the bait the last lap, and then I made him take the bait on this one. Now from here forward, I just hold grip and we call it a day. Running around, run my marks, go wide. He's pressed because that was the last lap. He doesn't have much time to make a pass, to come back. He has nothing to do. He's completely bewildered, and I'm just cruising, kind of chuckling like, yeah, you're done, son. So you can see him back there trying to step on the throttle, fishtailing, going all over the place. Possibly got himself a penalty, but he didn't have a smooth acceleration like me, and I just sail on down to that finish line, and that's how you make the pass stick. That's how you have a great race. That's how you make it exciting, and that's racing right there. Even if I didn't win, that was racing, and that's what I'm here for GT Sports. So cool. Thanks for joining me. That was a good little analysis of the sport races I've had this week. Join me, SYTFU_Lex, for other fun events and online racing that we do weekly.